some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
Hi there, folks. I'm Dan Hollfield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. We're a little bit early tonight, but we are in the run up to Hallowcon. So Joe Dog is busy making sure all of that unfolds as it should. And right now, he doesn't have spoons enough to run a stupid o'clock at the same time. So until further notice, there won't be a stupid o'clock Thursday or Saturday night. And just it's one of those things. Hallowcon is a big event, and Joe Dog is the man in charge. So all the decisions he has to make, he has to have a clear head to make them. So can't be distracted all that much. I'm sure Chris is helping him out as much as he can, and John is helping him out as much as he can. We're just we're grateful to be able to have Hallowcon to go to, and it's going to be a fun time. This it's about less than 30 days away now. I don't know. I'd have to pull up my countdown clock for it, but that's a little much to be doing during the middle of a show. Should have prepared in advance, but I didn't. With me tonight, we got Joe Bachman. We have not seen Uncle Carl or Aunt Donna all day because they're probably busy out and about doing stuff. They may have Dawn with them, they may not. I do not know. I think there's a Muncie event tomorrow, is there not, Joe?
Yep, that is tomorrow in Danville. I know Donna had a class reunion tonight.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. They're probably still busy whining and dining and dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we haven't had a class reunion in a long time, but there's not that many of us left anymore.
Yeah, plenty of us left. Just actually, my One of my reunions would have been right around COVID.
Yeah, that would have knocked a hole in anybody's bucket right there. Thesis just joined us.
Hello.
Even bladed.
Hello. Nice
Good
rant
show earlier
today.
today, so yeah.
I've been holding on to that one for about a week, so
Well, it probably did you a lot of good to let it free.
yeah.
Oh. So everything else all right out in the far west?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
It's
good.
too damn hot for almost being October, but what are you gonna do?
Hey, there's another hurricane coming up through the Gulf, and it seems to be looking like it's going to head off through Texas into parts unknown. So you might get a little rain out of that.
No, it'll be all right.
Hey, what's it going to do? Knock over 12 cacti?
Maybe.
Don't give it any ideas.
As long as it takes a wide swing around the VLA, I don't mind. That's in New Mexico, but those radar dishes are very important to me. Not well on as a fan of radio astronomy and as a science fiction writer, those dishes are very important to me. But
Yep.
you can imagine how gutted I was when Arecibo self-destructed.
Oh, yeah. Seeing a lot of interesting pictures from all the flooding and everything from Hurricane Helene.
Yeah. Our local Facebook is full of pictures of Six Flags with the Scream Machine being underwater mostly, and people have been pointing out every time somebody posts it, that's from 2009. That was not this week. And nobody seems to be taking the pictures down or retracting them. They're just going, doesn't matter, it's still underwater. Well, it's not still underwater. It's just fine.
I say, if it's still underwater from 2009, you got some bigger issues.
Really? Yeah. No, that's a multi-million-dollar industry right there. That park pretty much has to pump the water out and keep going. A few months back, Dolly World got hit with a flood coming down the mountains there, and they had to evacuate the park, and part of some of the roads through there around in the parking lots got washed away. Several of the buildings and the booths and whatnot got partly flooded, not totally, but I'm sure it took a bit to recover from that. Stephanie Osborne reported that part of Highway 40 between North Carolina and Knoxville, Tennessee, over on the North Carolina end, part of that got washed away. I think Joe Dog said one of the bridges totally failed. That's going to take a while.
Yeah, I saw something about there's a dam that they were talking might fail.
I think we talked about this the other night, and I thought I knew which dam it was, but it turns out, thankfully, I'm wrong, because if that one went, there'd be a whole lot of people downstream being more than minorly inconvenienced and might wind up suddenly living in New Orleans, because that's about where the floodwaters would stop.
Ooh.
Yeah. Norris Lake, Norris Dam, that is a big lake. And that is a major hydroelectric facility there. But Chris said it was one of the smaller ones, but from what I have been able to find out since we had that conversation, they were able to get rid of the overflow, so the dam was not in danger.
That's good.
Yeah, just be moving them fish a little further down the river, whether they want to go or not. I have not been out driving the roads around here looking to see what the damage is in my neighborhood. I have been outside today looking around at a few things to see where firewood can be harvested and whatnot, but looks like we came out of it a whole lot better than I expected us to. I don't see any entire trees on my property that have toppled, but that has happened in previous instances.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see branches that had broken off a few months ago, partly because of the drought and partly because of another really fast-moving thunderstorm that came through. But a lot of them were hung up on lower branches of trees next to the tree the branch fell out of. Well, one of them is about, I can actually reach it now and pull it completely down. I will probably gently tie a rope to it and get way off to one side and pull it down, just to be on the safe side. And yes, I do still have my hard hat from work. I may actually put that sucker back on. Hey, can't be too safe.
Nope.
And good evening to the folks in our chat.
Yeah, we got
Foxy and Kitty coming in.
Daniel Berry. We've got Foxy. We've got Kitty. Oh, Foxy, it'll be all right. I might even get froggy one day and get a one of those motorized winches that you'd put on a Jeep and strap chains to it and put it around another tree and loop the cable around other trees and hook a rope to it and tug on a pine tree I'd really like to get rid of before it does anything catastrophic, so that it falls into the woods instead of onto my house.
Good plan.
Yes. The way the wind blows around here, it would either hit my bedroom or fall into the neighbor's yard, both of which would be a very unfortunate occurrence. But through the power of geometry and engineering, I believe I could drop a tree where I want it to if I make sufficient preparations and buy a few extra tools. Going to take more than a come along and a long rope to do this one. Need one of those wireless controlled Jeep winches. It's about like a 2-ton or something, and loop it around a couple of sacrificial sweet gum trees and get my tallest ladder and go up the side of the pine tree and tie a nylon rope to it. No, wait, this rope is cotton. It's not nylon, it's cotton. It won't stretch as far. And just put tension on that sucker and then start cutting from the backside, being ready to jump out of the way in case it decides to kick back off of the stump. Something that Daddy taught me a long time ago when we were cutting down trees for firewood to sell to people in the next county. Always off to the side. Don't ever get behind it. And if you hear it start sounding like a bowl of Rice Krispies, you might want to move real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it gets unpredictable. Of course, if I do it right, I'll get me a nice 2-foot diameter pine stump. I can saw off at the ground and cart up next to the barbecue grill and use for a chopping block to cut kindling and stuff out of the oak and whatever else that I cut up for firewood to go in the new stove. The weird thing is, I don't think, let's see, about 6, maybe 8 inches long would be the widest piece that I can put in this stove.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how small it looks in the photograph. It's smaller. It's a cowboy camp cabin cook stove, and it stands a little under waist high, and the cooktop of it is like 2 foot wide and 20 inches deep. So there's not an awful lot of room to work there, but between that and the other grill, that second picture that I posted with the thing that's up on concrete blocks, that's a charcoal grill. It's also a campfire grill, but I've got it set up to where I can raise or lower the little platform on it, have charcoal underneath. The ashes fall through to the top of the concrete blocks where it can be raked out after they get cool. And that does, it has been able to do what I've needed it to do for a long time. Apparently, it came with a rotisserie that is hand cranked. I could actually put a whole chicken on there and slowly grill it because the rotisserie is a long way away from the fire.
I'm sure you can figure out a way to hook up a motor to it so you're not having to stand there and hand crank the thing.
I could, or I could just wise up and wrap the chicken in tinfoil and put it on the grill itself and just turn it over from time to time. I don't often do entire birds on a grill. Have done so on a campfire, but that was a campfire, not a little charcoal thing where the heat stops about here.
Yeah, my uncle used to do the Thanksgiving turkeys on a rotisserie over an open pit outside. Baste them with red wine.
I bet that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad's side of the family, Thanksgiving dinner was always just a buffet style. And if you went home hungry, it was your own damn fault. There was 3 8-foot tables of nothing but food, as far as like the turkey, stuffing, various sides of all types. And then there was another 10-foot table off to the side that was all the desserts. So if you went home hungry, it was your own damn fault.
Welcome to the philosophy of Hallowcon.
And my aunt brought the first plate of turkey down, and we all start grabbing food, and she brings the second plate down. She's like, okay, all my dark meat lovers, here you go. I look at my plate, I look at what she's got. What the hell's this? She goes, that's the white meat. I'm like, nah, it's way too dark and juicy to be white meat. She goes, that's because your uncle knows how to actually cook over an open flame, unlike most of the family. She goes, and he bastes it in red wine. That's why it's got the dark color. I'm like, okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Now I finally got the stove set up today, and then I started unpacking all the bits and pieces that go on it. The hardest part was I want to say the hardest part was putting the legs on it because I could not get those screws to tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
They were. If I were designing it, I would have made them hex bolts rather than Phillips head screws.
Oh.
So you could actually get some leverage in there. I think.
On a bright note, they weren't flatheads.
They may be stars by now. One of them, if I ever have to remove it, I'm probably going to have to drill in the middle and get the back out bit to go in the drill to reverse it. But oh God, I don't know who invented that, but that is one of the best inventions mankind has ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Something to remove bolts when the head is totally stripped away. That'll come in useful. If I ever have to redo it, I will get some heat-treated hex head bolts to go in there and actually crank it down to where those things would never come loose without more effort than it took to tighten them up. I don't know if a torque wrench is what's needed, but I'd be tempted. Oh, I got another little toy today. It's about half the size of a drill motor, but it's a 160-pound air compressor.
Ooh.
And it can fill up inner tubes, soccer balls. There's even an attachment to fill up pool floats and things like that. You just set the pressure you want it to go to and hit start pumping, and it will pump for 5 minutes and then cool off for 5 minutes and pump for 5 minutes and cool off for 5 minutes. And it runs on a battery, a 2-hour to 4-hour 18-volt lithium battery, like the drill motor and the chainsaw and the table saws run off of. I've got the chargers too. Lindsay had a tire pressure light come on her Toyota yesterday. She's going, it was steering funny too. And I go, I bet it was. And went out to see exactly what light it was on the dashboard because she said she'd never seen it before. It was just a big exclamation mark.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the ignition on. Big exclamation mark inside a flat tire. Pressure sensor in a tire.
Yep.
It wasn't low enough for either that or the car does not have the capability the van has of showing you which tire it is.
I love when it makes you have to guess like that.
It was down to 25 pounds pressure. I set it on 32. I don't know what the standard is for her car. I'll have to examine the tires for the recommended pressure marking. They're new tires, so it should still be there. It shouldn't be rubbed off.
Yeah.
And that saves time trying to hunt through the owner's manual for that stuff. But if it's supposed to be 35, I think the van, the tire pressure is supposed to be either 35 or 36 pounds. And every time I go to get the oil changed, the guys will wander around with a pressure gauge and they go, "Oh, this has got too much pressure." Turn it down to 32. Every low pressure light in the van comes on. I'm trying to go, leave my tires alone. I feel like I'm in Blast from the Past. Leave my elevator alone. And nobody listens. So every time I go someplace where somebody else decides, just because cars from the 70s used to have 32 pounds of air pressure in it, modern day cars with 17-inch tires should have 32 pounds. No, not quite. But now I'll be able to get rid of the low pressure indicators on the van, and just in time to take it to get the oil changed again. Going to try a new place that's closer to the house rather than the one I've been taking it to for years. We'll see. It's time to get the oil changed in all three cars.
Yeah, I need to get the oil changed on our vehicle before we head down to Hallowcon.
Mm-hmm. Get the oil changed. Check the blinker fluid. Check the windshield wipers, because it may just rain while you're on the trip, even though it might not be raining there.
Yeah, I need to figure out some way of cleaning off that windshield, because there's something going on with it where it constantly just smears. And I've tried new windshield wiper blades. I've tried, everything short of just pouring acid on the damn thing and starting fresh.
Oh, one of the other new toys I got today was a pressure washer for washing the cars. It even has an attachment where you don't have to hook it up to the hose. You can make a bucket of soapy water and drop a filtered intake into the bucket of soapy water and soap down the car. I looked at the thing and go, "What the hell is that? It's got a cage over one end." And then I stopped to think for a moment, and logical side of my brain kicked in and go, "That's for a bucket of soapy water, you idiot. You're trying to replace a car wash. Where are you going to get the soap and not have to stand there and smear it on yourself with a sponge?" Dish soap, yeah, that's Foxy. Yeah, dish soap is usually the gentler option. Some laundry detergents will work as well, but some are just a little bit too. The acid base balance is kind of screwed up for car paint.
Yeah.
You got to be careful about that. But dish soap is usually so close to being neutral as far as pH level goes, because people got to put their hands in that, and nobody wants to get sued.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried so many different things with this windshield that
Oh,
I'm about to just give it up.
I put brand new windshield wipers on the van and the Buick, and all they did was smear stuff around instead of wipe it off. Same brand I've been using that
Mhm.
worked really well. And I'm going, what is different? Is it because they're getting parked under a tree now instead of out in the middle of the blazing sun on the driveway?
It could be.
Could be. I don't know, but if I blast the windshield clean with the pressure washer and it doesn't smear when I flip the windshield wipers on to check them out, that I will have a pretty significant clue that it is parking it under trees.
Mhm.
Oh, Foxy says tree sap can do that for sure. Okay. Yep.
Hmm.
Hey, I will seriously take that under advisement. That's was something that had only vaguely entered my mind because I'm not used to having trees to park anything under. I'm not used to having shade up until I bought this house. Uh, everything has been parked in a asphalt parking lot in the middle of the sun, and you
Mhm.
have to go out and not only drive the car with oven mitts on, you can't even unlock the door without wearing an oven mitt. Um, well, that was before you had the little clicker remote to unlock the doors, but yeah, um, half the reason that Southerners have these mats or the bead things in their car seats is so that they don't have to touch the upholstery with their bare skin because they don't want somebody to have to come out with a spatula and get them off of the seat.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, don't it just though? Uh, I got a new hand drill too. Um, I have I've got a couple of battery operated hand drills. One of them, the forward reverse lever is stuck on lock.
Mm.
You can't use the drill at all. And the other one has teeny tiny tube type batteries that don't last more than about 2 hours or so and then have to be recharged, and it takes about 6 hours to recharge them. So I've been getting the same brand of tools that use interchangeable batteries for the whole thing, and
Mhm.
uh, am going to have an entire power bank of chargers set up to where I just flip one switch, the outlet strip goes live, all the batteries plugged in can charge up. Oh, Foxy. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
it's not just leather seats. It's
Mhm.
vinyl upholstery. It's whatever that cloth that GM used to use on the car seats that uh, I don't know what it was. You can burn that stuff with a if somebody dropped a cigarette on it, it wouldn't even burn a hole in it. But
Mhm.
it looked like tweed, um, probably asbestos fibers, knowing that era. Um, oh, if you've got a car with and you have to keep the windows all the way rolled up in the South, you can cook a pizza in there. without needing to follow the directions. You just stand next to the car and look in and go, "Ooh, that's bubbling. It's about ready." I've known people that can dry clothes in their minivan, just hang a line going back and forth, park it in the sun. Um, they have they have to once they take the clothes out, they have to leave the windows down for the humidity to get out. Otherwise, they also have a fine crop of mushrooms growing in the back of the van, uh, and not the fun kind either. Uh,
There's a non-fun kind?
yeah, there's the kind that are only edible once.
But they're still edible.
Just the once. Oh, Foxy, yes, yes. Uh, Back in the 60s, there was an entire article in, I think it was Popular Mechanics, on rigging up something like a small aluminum tackle box on the engine block in an out-of-the-way place back when engine compartments actually had room in them. And you could put an entire meal in there. And by the time you drove an hour, everything would be cooked to perfection.
So there was a project I was on. We were doing asphalt paving, and the one of the truck drivers had pulled off on one of the county roads, turned around, came back up to the intersection, and stopped. And we see him flip open his hood, and I think great. He just broke down, whatnot. Flips open the hood, climbs up. You see him reach down in, pulls out an aluminum foil package. He was heating his lunch on the engine block.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Gets back into the truck, opens it up, looks at us, goes, "One of y'all wouldn't happen to have a spoon, would you?" "No, I don't."
No.
"All right." He's sitting there for a few more minutes. He goes, "Never mind. I figured something out." We're like, "What'd you figure out?" He goes, "Wrapped up the aluminum foil like a spoon."
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
There was another
Yep.
time I was on a paving project. I'm talking with the guy walking next to the shuttle bug, which is a big machine that the pavers dump into. They can hold like about two and a half trucks roughly. So about 40 to 50 tons. And it keeps the asphalt hot until it goes over to the paver.
Mm.
And we're standing there talking one day. He's like, he looks at his watch. He's like, "Oh, it's lunchtime." Walks over, pulls open the service door on the thing, pulls out a can of SpaghettiOs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kitty. If it got this hot in Canada, y'all would be moving somewhere towards Siberia and probably would not be as happy. Yeah, Foxy, it works. It works. I mean, theoretically, you can put unopened cans of food on an engine block if you can secure it to where it doesn't fall down and wind up getting things damaged.
Yeah.
And not punch a hole in it to vent or anything, just an unopened can, and drive around for a while, and it'll be cooked all the way through. You might want some farmer's gloves to pick up the can and put the can opener on with, but there have been times when I wished I'd thought to put a can of Viennese sausages up on top of the exhaust manifold on the tractor when I was driving around the field. Those things are much better warm and not hot, but warm than they are room temperature.
Hmm.
But tell that to a fisherman. Uh, 14C, I think, yeah, about 60F. I think that's close. I'm not going to look it up and check it, but yeah, I think that's pretty close. Oh, there's Carl. Just got back from Donna's class
Carl!
reunion.
Nice.
All right. Hope y'all had a good time. Gentlemen, I'm going to go down the hallway here for a minute, and I will be right back.
Alrighty.
Just talk shit till I get back. Nobody will notice I'm gone.
We will try to keep ourselves entertained. We'll do our level best.
Something like that, yeah.
Actually, when he comes back, I got to step away for a minute because I got to put take some of the wife's laundry out of the dryer and put more in.
Yeah, we did laundry today too.
So,
Okay.
Hoolie bugging you?
Yeah, she's whining at me.
Yeah, wife is finishing up her sweater thing that she's been crocheting.
Yeah, I saw that when she was backstage before last Saturday's show. That was pretty good sized sweater, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's been working on that for a while. She's had the right side. Yeah, she's had the right side done for a while. She's been working on the left side.
I don't even want to imagine how much something like that would cost, since she does per row or whatever. That thing would be holy shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'd rather not think about that. I wonder if she's ever actually priced it out though.
I think somebody asked her once. Maybe Dawn asked her or something like that, and she just said expensive.
I mean, that's a proper
Yeah. Go on. Go get your food. Go on. No.
Oh, I just saw Foxy's comment.
Yeah, pretty much. Usually around
Yes.
9:15, I take her out, but since it's getting darker earlier, she's like, dark. That means it's time to go out.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be slightly inconvenient. Yes, cat. I haven't broken down all the cardboard boxes yet from today, so he's trying to figure out why the hell is his food bowl in a box. How about if I move it out here?
Just
There
give
you
him that
go.
box.
There you go. I know you've never eaten a bite of food in your entire life. They're all just the same, aren't they?
That's not supported on this device.
Shut up.
Don't talk to Foxy that way.
No, that was the echo being weird.
I try and keep all those things turned off. And they're the ones that came with the computers that I can't delete.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's eating. Lindsay's about to go to bed. She just told me one of the stars of a soap opera that she's been watching for almost 40 years passed away from pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
Evidently, this fellow just found out about it, and almost overnight, he was gone.
Yeah.
Well, by the time you think to get checked, it's too late. That's the way that one goes.
Oh.
Oh, and now he wants back out.
Isn't that the way it normally goes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then the dog will start scratching the door to get in.
Let me in. Okay, you're in. Let me out. Damn you.
No. Billy, the door opens on the other end. Yes, that side. I open the door and he runs for the hinge side.
That.
And Egyptians seriously thought these were gods.
I mean, not all breeds are equal.
I mean, no, they just worship them like gods. That doesn't necessarily mean. You will worship me. Okay. Here's
Only
some
because
fish.
only because you don't taste good with barbecue sauce. I do believe that's pretty much why most animal totems came about. Is people pick the ones that don't taste good with barbecue sauce and go, okay, we can't eat it. We might as well worship it. Egyptians didn't have hinges; they had beaded curtains and throws and things, didn't they? Reed mats, or was that Peruvians, or both?
Could have been
Probably
both.
both. Probably both. It's been a long time since I paid any attention to archaeology. Human archaeology. Paleontology now, I like that. It's before people came along to screw things up. History was so simple.
I have several friends who live in Egypt, and there's a well-known joke going around that the only reason that pyramids are still in Egypt was because they couldn't fit in the British Museum of History.
That's not a joke.
Yeah, I know. They saw that joke on like Facebook or something. They're like, "That's not funny. That's true. That's what happened."
Believe me, everything that could fit through the door when they opened the door, that wound up in the British Museum.
Yeah, I know. They're just now getting some of the stuff from Hong Kong back that the little bastard stole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Greece is trying to get some frescoes, not frescoes. What the temple carvings? So that above the
Yeah.
the tops of the pillars.
Mhm.
I should know that word. I've trained in that particular branch of art. Um, Art history is just one of those things where you got to memorize a bunch of shit, and as soon as you finish the test, you forget it because you got to make room for the next test you've got to take.
Kind of everything does that, though, doesn't it?
No, some stuff winds up being useful. I find myself trying to learn more rope knots for camping
Yeah.
gear and stuff like
Okay, yeah.
that. I can do a couple of simple ones, but there's one or two that I watch it, I see the way it goes, and as soon as the video's over, I forget it again.
There are
But they
other
would be so useful to know.
other uses for knots. We'll just leave it there.
I'm aware of those too, but yes, Carl, the things that look like cameos but huge. And mosaics, Foxy, mosaic is more like a painting done with small bits of tile rather than paint. But these would be carvings. Carl's on the right track there. There's a word for it, and I don't know what it is. Fresco is not the right word. Architrave? I don't know. I don't remember what that word actually means. It just popped in my head. And probably it shouldn't have a B in it. It should have a V. But and watch that be a special room inside a church. Who knows? Reliefs. Bas reliefs, yes. Low bas means low. Relief, yes. Something like that. I think we've blown enough time trying to refresh my memory, and it ain't going to work. So y'all know what I'm talking about. The fancy shit that wound up in the British Museum. That's what we're talking about. People want their ancient stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is a new word on me, Carl. Metopes. Nope. Don't know that I've ever seen that word before tonight.
No.
Kitty. There are lots of knots that are good for lots of things. Yes, Carl, a freeze, which is what I'd like to do with this topic, is freeze it out.
You brought it up.
I know, but I was hoping that talking about it would jog my memory, but evidently my memory is no longer capable of jogging. It's moving at a slow crawl. Too much stuff in there. I could probably remember what the word is in 3 alien languages, but not Greek or Roman or even French. How about those cubs? They're so cute.
I was more thinking about the White Sox, but hey, the White Sox made history this year.
Do tell.
Worst MLB record in MLB history.
How long has it been?
I'm not entirely sure how long it's been, but let's just say if the Major League Baseball draft works anything like the other drafts, they should definitely have the first round pick locked.
Don't count on it. Oh. No. Faces, we're talking about Paw Patrol.
Now that one I can kind of stand sometimes. It depends on my mood, you know.
Hey, if you've got small children or grandchildren, that one is one of the more bearable ones to be stuck watching over and over and over again. It
Yeah.
could be worse. It could be Disney's animated Jungle Book 4 times a day for 16 years. Talk about the little drip, drip, drip torture. I used to like that movie back when it was new and I was a kid.
That happened to me and A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
Not actually the movie itself, but my ex would put on the soundtrack when she would put her son to bed and just listen to that over and over every single night. It's like, oh, can we just something else, please, for the love of God?
Donna must have fallen asleep, had 2 Fireball and Cokes. Oh, she was going to consume mass quantities, and she stopped at 2.
Lightweight.
Depends on how big the glass was.
That's true, too.
And who was bartending?
That too.
Or if it was mix your own. That Coke can might have had 2 sips out of it after she got through with the second drink.
Fireball! Coke for Coke.
Oh, exactly, Foxy. How strong they were. I haven't bought a bottle of liquor in over a month. That's all right. Hallowcon's coming up.
Bartender lady gave her generous portions.
Okay. Oh, Carl only paid for 2, and she didn't want to fall down the steps. Well, a gentleman would have carried extra drinks down the steps for her and let her get drunk in the parking lot. Got your seatbelt on, honey? Here's 3 more. Oh, Foxy, I thought you didn't drink at all.
She can't. That's probably why. I mean,
oh, okay.
She bought a bottle of wine for her birthday, probably close to 5 years ago.
Now, wait a minute, Carl. How many fireballs did you have?
Yeah. Was it the stairs or was it you?
Or were the stairs animated by the Fleischer brothers, like the ones in some of the early Popeye cartoons, where stuff moved unexpectedly? Oh, yeah, Foxy, I don't blame you. So, you cannot take any kind of chance on a bad reaction to some medication. Had to drive home, had 1 Dos Equis. Well, you could have had a beer. No, I'm kidding. Dos Equis is usually quite a tasty little beer. I like the dark ones, but there's nothing wrong with the I wouldn't say light, but the lighter color. I do like dark beer quite a lot, but it's kind of hard to get a hold of anymore. There were a couple of brands, U.S. brands, that used to be easily available, but now they just don't. It's fallen out of fashion or something. Everybody's making IPAs. And I'm going, well, if I wanted to drink liquid plastic, I would, but I don't like that. Those things have they taste like 3-in-1 gun oil. I'm sorry. I drink cheap beer, but at least it tastes like beer.
That doesn't really sound much better, though.
No.
I am a pariah amongst my family because I don't do beer. My relatives are just, they're a bunch of beer drinking people, and I can't just, it tastes like a fish hatchery and it smells worse.
Okay, yeah. That does sound like Heineken right there. It really does. Had a German lady that I knew said, "Don't ever drink beer that comes in a green bottle. If it's not in a brown bottle, it's not beer." Yeah, Joe Dog, 3-in-1 oil. It's Carl. It's not just. It's not the bitterness so much as I can taste all kinds of chemicals in there that should not be in any humanly consumable beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know you spelled it correctly. I've got 2 bottles over here on the desk that I used to clean the guns with that I can check your spelling. One of them hasn't even been opened, and it's got a heavy layer of dust on it. I guess I need to. I guess I need to get back on schedule of cleaning the guns, but I've been a little bit busy living. Oh yeah. Mexican beer, German beer, Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Not a fan of light pilsners of the U.S. I don't blame you. I have picked out the best compromise I can find between cost and a decent taste in beer. And for people that don't drink beer, you're sitting there going, "What is this decent tasting beer of which you speak?" It for any of them, it is an acquired taste, and if you're not interested in acquiring it, don't bother. You'll be wasting your time for quite a while. Blackberry Merlot. That sounds wonderful. Oh, and some stuff you got from the place in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I assume.
Yes.
It's the only Jackson Hole I've ever heard of, but
there's a liquor store kind of tucked in the back of a little strip mall place that we go to, and they gave out free samples, and I got a couple 2 fingers of some really, really god-awful scotch, and she got Moscato with black currant, and I got like this much, and she got a glass like this. I was walking around sipping it going, "This is good."
I bet it was. That's why you didn't get more than a sip.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like
sharing? No.
Like 10:30 in the morning. So I'm like, this is going to be an interesting day.
Hey, well, that's the time when you go by the the hardware store and go, "Hey, honey, would you mind if I bought this sword?" Nah, go right ahead.
The only place on that trip, the only place that you could actually buy swords was Ripley's Believe It or Not.
I don't think those would be worth buying. Just
Nope.
guessing.
Nope.
Good night, Joe Dog.
Good night, Joe Dog.
That was the wall hanger express right there, and I'm just
Oh
walking
yeah,
through there going, "Don't swing that one. Don't swing that one. Don't swing that one. Don't swing that one."
don't even hit a piece of wood with that one.
Oh
You'll chip it, not the wood.
no.
Although there's some stuff that is, I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it holds an edge really well coming out of India.
Mhm.
Some of them got some funky shapes to them, but they're not some kind of chromed zinc. These are some actual sort of steel. And
Mhm.
I'm going, now wait a minute. This is the same people that make the kukri knives. Maybe they're onto something.
That's at least of what they make.
Shit, the last time I had to drive myself to an emergency room is because I was sharpening a kukri knife and I slipped.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And when I told them what I was doing, they're going, "Oh, okay. You won't need a tetanus shot. You need one of them clip things with the prongs in it to hold that shut for a day or two." And that's all it took. And believe it or not, that was 30 years ago, and that knife has not lost its edge yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they make them out of, but they make them right.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely one thing I don't have in my collection that I wouldn't mind having, but
sometimes you can find one in a pawn shop, and
not around here.
They think it's Pier 1 imports touristy garbage and charge accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to look it up in a catalog and you're going to be paying what it's worth.
Not around here because our last pawn shop closed last December.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Location.
I'm not complaining. I got a $170 amp for about $25 because they just wanted to get rid of shit. They're just like everything
must go. Yeah, I went to one place, had a Aria guitar, 6-string, and they had it priced for, I think, $50. Right next to a Fender that they wanted $400 for.
Yeah, because it's a Fender.
Well, no. The Aria, you plugged it up to something, it didn't work. And I said, okay, I'll take a chance on this. So I bought the Aria. I took it home, took the little access cover off the back. One wire had come unsoldered. 5 minutes with a soldering iron, I had a $300 guitar
There you
going.
go. Yeah, but you really do, especially with like Fenders, you're paying because it's a Fender.
Oh yeah, there's some brands that you pay for the name. There's some brands that you pay for the actual quality of the build and the workmanship, and
Absolutely.
there are some brands where uh they're priced as if they were made out of paper mache, but they're actually built fairly well, and the electronics inside were scavenged from something really expensive, but the people at the store didn't know that,
Yeah.
and they wound up sounding great and holding up to a lot of hard usage. And then there's some that they might as well be made out of paper mache, and they're priced like they were made out of solid gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is the musical equivalent of a wall hanger sword.
Mm-hmm.
It looks beautiful. Don't touch it; it'll fall apart or shatter into a million pieces.
That's what people told me with the one back there that I bought a couple years ago, because it wasn't a Fender or a really well-known brand. They're like, that thing's going to be a piece of crap. It's going to die. It's going to stop working after a month. No, it's still just fine.
It's still working.
Mhm.
As long as the electronics don't get staticky,
Mm-hmm.
and you change the strings when you have to tighten them up so much you think you're going to snap the neck to keep it in tune for 5 minutes. Yeah, Les Paul.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wanted to play with a Les Paul. Yeah, that's one of the better ones right there. And up until recently, you could actually get the Les Paul to come in and do interviews on a video and let him tell you how he made these amazing machines.
Now the question is, Carl, when you worked at a music store, did they say, there are certain songs you can't play because no Stairway, no Freebird,
Yeah.
there's 2 or 3 other ones at the music store in my town. Right behind the wall of guitars, there's a list of songs you can't play because they're like, no, damn it.
We've heard these too many times being done too badly.
Wonderwall, I think, was another one.
Oh. Well, see, there's where I have the advantage. I can't play anything that I didn't make up. You can tell that by listening to those 3 live albums. When I've actually got a 6-string in my hands, I can't play anything I didn't make up. And when I'm playing bass, I'm playing a rhythm guitar that my friend made up, or playing a rhythm guitar part on a bass. That's kind of a weird concept. You're actually, it might as well call it a jazz bass, because it's not thump 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 thump. It's actually a very mobile part that you have to learn to be able to do, instead of just following the lowest notes of whatever guitar chord the guitarist is playing, which is kind of standard for lots and lots of different kinds of music. But
I can play a few pieces that I didn't write, but I have to be actively looking at the tabs to know where I'm going next. Other than that,
yeah. There's a music video with lots of different guitar players coming up in court to demonstrate that somebody who wrote a music book that didn't include the tabs, just the notes. Nobody could play. All these famous people couldn't play it because it didn't have the tabs. It just had the dots.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was Lemmy Kilmister from Hawkwind and Motorhead.
Motorhead, yeah.
And oh god, and as soon as somebody showed them the tablature, they could play anything.
We
But
got
if yeah, really, but if they were restricted to just the chords written out as notes, nah,
I
a
can't read
a
that
lot
either.
of people don't know how to do that.
Nope. Give me tabs or give me nothing. Otherwise, I ain't gonna know what the hell I'm doing.
I can actually read sheet music. I can actually write sheet music. I can write a song in sheet music when played back by somebody that knows how to play the instrument. Actually sounds like a song, which was it came in very handy back when the only instruments a computer had were MIDI
Mm-hmm.
and sounded like the soundtrack from a video game, an 8-bit
Brothers?
video game. Yes. And yeah, but I had a music composing program where I could actually click. Oh, I need a quarter note here. I need 2/16 notes here. I need an eighth note and an eighth wrist, and then a whole note, and pick what pitch they were in, and all of that. Just click, 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 and write an entire piece of music in. I think the limit was 8-part harmony for that.
I will be right back. I gotta go change out laundry.
Okay.
Laundry.
What the hell? Short guy with a bald head, and you can see the top of his head get redder and redder as you played Crazy Little Thing Called Love Is Love That Could until the guy across the mall would run in and call. Yeah, you could judge how much time you had by the color of his skull.
Well, I mean,
Kitty, I would say that dance is reading music in a much more physical way than playing an instrument.
oh yeah.
You are reading the music, you're just using your entire body to do it with.
Mm-hmm. That's much more difficult than just looking at a note and only having to use your hands or your fingers or
My job was to lure people into the store so elder salespeople could sell stuff. I like how we put elder in there, as if to go, hey, yeah, this was when I was a young guy. Well, if you've got a good enough ear, Foxy, you don't really need to read the music. You just need to harmonize with the rest of the voices around you.
Yes.
It's been so long since I've looked at music for my trombone, I doubt I could even remember the scale at this point.
Well, I wouldn't be so much worried about the slide positions as I would the embouchure. Because once we stop practicing, that kind of, I wouldn't say evaporates, but yeah, evaporates. Uh,
Not the
it
green
was
one.
weird. Could play the organ regularly, but the job was to show people how you could play with 2 fingers on the Kimball organs. That was the ones with the it would actually add a rhythm in that you could pick out and hold down like a bass or a chord, and then just use one more finger to do the right hand keys. I'm guessing, and I've heard of Kimball, but it's been a long time. Some of the folks I admire, the ones that do this busking, and they've got loop machines,
Hmm.
and they'll set up a drum beat and loop that, and set up a little bass riff and loop that, then get their guitar out and loop that, and then play lead on top of all that. Kitty.
Get out of my head.
Tried playing flute, but it didn't go well. Choir work, though. Yeah. Yep. I don't remember what key flute is in. I think it's in the same key as. Well, no, the fingerings are the same as a tenor saxophone. I don't know if the key is the same. And I learned that from Burton Cummings from the Guess Who. Evidently, they were out wandering around one day and walked into a pawn shop just out of curiosity, and there's a what looked like a brand new flute laying there, and he goes, "Damn, I wish I could play one of those." And the guy behind the counter says, "Can you play a saxophone? Fingering's exactly the same. Just have to learn a different breathing method to move the wind down a straight tube rather than a curved one with
Yeah.
a reed." And he's going, "Yeah, wrap it up. I'll take it." And played it on stage the first time that night at a Guess Who concert.
Damn.
Yeah. Of course, he can play about half a dozen different instruments. So, one of those folks that found out he had a talent early on and developed it as many different directions as he could.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, talent, Foxy. Yeah. Carl's organ and sax were his limit, and that's 2 entirely different states of mind right there. You got to, for playing an organ, you got to think with your fingers. For playing a sax, you've got to think with your fingers and your mouth and the reed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can't really do the high pitched stuff unless I do falsetto. You'd be in good company with a lot of folks. There's a guy on a canal boat over in England. He does all the music for his and his girlfriend's boat videos, and he plays at concerts and things like that. He can play a banjo. He bought a flute and learned how to play that. Guitar, bass, keyboards, and several different rhythm instruments that are not a drum set. And he even can do one of those things that sounds like a hurdy-gurdy, but it's more like an Indian style squeeze box. It's got a bellows in it and a couple of things that you can change the notes with. It's kind of like slide the reed over and you get this chord, and slide these two reeds over, you get this chord. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically it's used for droning background chords.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for him to get a sitar.
That would be cool.
Hey, there's actually a company that does stomp boxes for electric guitars, and they make a stomp box that'll make an electric guitar sound like a sitar. I want one so bad. I don't need it, but I want one just to play with it.
That's kind of the thing. When I bought that guitar, the guy's like, you're going to be back because once you buy one, you got to buy another one, and you got to try something else, and then maybe you want a bass, and then
yeah. That's the thing. You can get into so many different stringed instruments, and once you learn the basics on one, it's easier to pick up not only the basics but the nuances on several others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are several people that have made themselves known as guitar players, and then they'd pick up mandolin or bouzouki or just whatever, and it's a matter of figuring out what the sound of the instrument actually is, and then applying the skills you've already learned on a different instrument to be able to play that. Oh yeah, Foxy. I can't remember the name of it either. For some reason, I think he calls it a drone, which is confusing because they got one of the airborne camera things that they use for the videos too. Oh, Carl, Wipeout on the organ. Yeah, that the real fun of playing Wipeout is if you're a drummer. You get to beat the hell out of the drum skins on that one.
Yeah, not unless you piss off the band director and she decides we're going to play Wipeout during pep band right after you do the drum roll for the national anthem.
I don't think you should do that.
God love Casey, but the boy was not the brightest barrel in the brightest crayon on the box.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that reminded me of an insult that I thought up the other day, but I'm not even gonna say it out loud because no, it doesn't apply to anybody we know at the moment. Although I should tell it to John just in case he runs into a fellow military veteran from a different service than he, because I think it'd be a great put down line. But then again, I don't know. Never having served, it might be crossing a line somewhere. Foxy, I don't know if I should post that one or not. I do know that I was messing around with a synthesizer set to play pipe organ, and there was uh, a full drum kit set up in the room right next to me, and the guy had loosened the chains on the bottom of the snare drum so that, taking the tension off of it
Mm-hmm.
until he comes back and tightens it up. And I'm sitting there, and I could hear the chain rattling against the bottom of the snare drum skin while my speaker is rattling the walls. I think I was playing the synth through a 300-watt bass amp with three 100-watt 15-inch speakers. I could only do that when there was nobody else home in the apartment complex. Otherwise, the next door neighbor would knock on the door because, could you turn it down a little bit? You're shaking the dishes off my wall. That's one reason why some of the stuff from the garage band did not use any speakers or amplifiers whatsoever. We plugged directly into a mixing board and headphones and the tape recorder,
Mm-hmm.
and played as if we had an amp. Absolutely silent. You hear twang, 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 twang. That was it. What came out on the speakers, what came out on the tape recorder
Mhm.
winds up on at least one of my albums.
Well, before I got the actual good amp, unless you have this hooked up to headphones or an auxiliary speaker, it doesn't sound like anything. Just it's like $20.
Yeah. This one time at band camp, you had to say that.
Mm-hmm. Didn't go to band camp, but
All right. Just for giggles, I'm going to have to name an album this one time at band camp.
One time at band camp, yes, absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think any band camp story will ever come close to any church camp stories, but you never know.
Depends on the happy ending.
Ooh.
I've witnessed some fun band camp stories when people didn't know I was there.
Zach witnessed some not so fun church camp stories, but
yeah, everybody knew he was there.
oh.
Dance camp stories can be interesting too.
I imagine they can be.
What was that old ballet joke? You've always got the girls dancing around on the tiptoes. Can't you just hire taller women? Oh dear. I'm gonna let y'all comment on your own there. I'm reading it. I'm laughing. It's in the permanent record.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord. This is why I'm not worried about being monetized. I know my audience. Oh. I wish you hadn't said that. Now I'm remembering stuff off the band bus. Ah. I was entirely too young to hear that sort of thing. And it was only 5 years later that I was able to buy videos of things like that happening. So,
Didn't think they had videos back then. I thought it was still, clay tablets and stuff.
The 70s were an interesting time. And so were the 80s.
80s were interesting for me, and I was, 10 years old at the end of it. So,
Let's see. 1978, I was what do I want to say? 18 years old. I should have been 21. Yeah, should have been 21. Oh, I started working at the factory before my 21st birthday. Oh, well. Yes, photographs have been around quite a while. Paintings before that. Murals in Pompeii and in Rome and in Greece and probably several other places that were not as conveniently conserved by natural disasters.
be gone, troll.
I would gladly vote for him to pretty much stand against a wall in front of a firing squad after he gets convicted of treason. And that is the limit of the politics I want to have me talking about here. Everybody else is quite welcome to their own. I have mine. I have my reasons. They are not totally logical sometimes. They're just, I've known about this person for a long time. Don't like them. And that covers every party that exists now, not just one, because I'm not a political party person. Although I am a party person, I like going to parties. Just I don't like politics, and I don't like liars, and I don't like politicians that lie in order to get elected and then do an abrupt about face and screw everybody that voted for them. This also covers lots and lots of people on all sides of the political spectrum, not just one particular party. Yeah, Carl, I recall the day that MTV started as well. Foxy, I think there are several of us that can say we're older than Google. Some of us are older than AOL. Some of us are older than the internet.
And yes, I remember when MTV actually played music videos.
Yes.
That was the whole point of the damn channel.
I remember when the Sci-Fi Channel actually played science fiction instead of wrestling. However, there's no money in playing science fiction for the people that want to watch science fiction. You can just play reruns of wrestling matches and oh yeah, dial up. Yeah.
I miss the old tech TV.
Mm,
And when it turned to G4 at first, it wasn't bad because it was still
yeah.
kind of tech TV. And then it just went way downhill from there.
Well, everything started having to make money to keep in business rather than people passing out information for the love of knowing things and being able to pass it on. Oh.
I would say I remember when the History Channel actually showed history, but that's never really been a thing. So,
it was a long time ago. It might have been very slanted history, but you could find it in textbooks. Not one I'd want to be taught from, but you know. Quantum leap. There's a history show for ya.
Unless you're talking about the reboot, that was just last year.
Sorry, I have no idea what this reboot thing is you're talking about.
Hey, it was a good show. Come on now, I watched it.
I watched the original.
I watched that.
I didn't
I saw
watch
the original.
reboot.
I didn't see the reboot.
I watched it. It was pretty good.
I watched someone telling me the premise of the reboot, and I'm going, no, sounds like they just kind of screwed it up.
No, it's really not bad. If you don't, Scott Bakula said when they announced that they were going to do it that he didn't want anything to do with it. He was not going to be in it. He didn't want to be a guest star. So you have to look at it through that lens that he's not there. He's not going to be there. If you watch it through that, it's actually not bad. I enjoyed it until they decided to cancel it like they do everything that's good. And instead, let's have the 85th season of The Bachelor.
You know, I don't know anybody that watches those things.
Unfortunately, I do. My mother and my sister.
And now they've got The Golden Bachelor.
I'm afraid to ask.
Bachelors that are in their golden years.
Oh, so they got lots of money.
You hope.
The girls hope. I have no hopes whatsoever.
Well, no, I think that the first one is going to be a woman.
Okay.
I think.
I jokingly told my coworker that he should sign up for it.
Oh, God, Foxy, please no. Don't mention that trash. We don't know. No. That has to be the worst premise for a show that I have ever heard of.
Oh, worse than Sister Wives?
Yes.
Oh, God, it's got to be bad then.
All right. MILF Mansion. And I swear to God, they're like on season 3 now. The premise of this show, it's a bunch of middle-aged women and a bunch of younger men moving into a mansion together And the women are supposed to hook up with the younger men, but the twist is the younger men are the sons of the mothers. So you have to move into a mansion and watch all of your friends that are the same age as you hit on your moms.
And your mom has to watch all of her friends hit on you.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like Babylonia. Without the snazzy dresses. Cougar Chateau.
Pretty much, yeah. First time I heard a commercial for that, I was expecting, and this is going to date me because I was waiting for the Energizer Bunny to come through the commercial to show that it wasn't real.
No, but they might have been sponsored by the Energizer Bunny because
No shit. Sponsored by Energizer and Adam and Eve.
Hey, don't knock Adam and Eve. They make some good products.
Oh, believe me, I'm well aware.
Damn, I wonder how much money I did spend on them.
You probably don't want to know.
Probably not.
It's been so long I don't even get the free catalog anymore. And if they take you off the mailing list, it's been a long time since you ordered anything.
Yeah, see? MILF Mansion is on season 3, which means they have successfully gotten a season 2 and a season 3.
Which means they successfully screwed up, 3 dozen people's lives? 6 dozen people's lives?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
How do you move in to a mansion with a bunch of your friends and be like, oh, yeah, this is cool. You guys are going to hit on my mom and your mom's going to hit on me. This is going to be fun.
Oh, I can see some morning afters right there.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Walking out of your friend's mom's bedroom and like doing the walk of shame at 8 o'clock in the morning and have to walk past your friend like,
oh, no,
hey,
no.
buddy.
This one guy that was a douche to everybody else would just go up and go, hey, dude, your mom is really good. They're going to be a murder.
But you know what the scariest part to all this is? There's people who actually really enjoy those shows.
Uh-huh.
They also most likely reproduce.
Uh-huh.
And they probably vote.
Uh-huh.
I could have done without hearing that last one.
How do you decide who wins in a situation like that? I mean, honestly. Who's the winner of MILF Mansion? The best couple or the guy who got in the most fist fights with his friend, so he was the last one standing?
Basically, I think the winner is whoever goes to bed with the greatest number of his friends' moms.
Yeah, exactly.
Bueller. You got some splaining to do, Bueller. Oh. Carl, I was thinking a whole lot more rude. Found a cool YouTube channel today. They knew news about movies as if they were real, like the disappearance of Doc Brown under mysterious circumstances.
Okay,
I can get behind that.
Hey, that would be well better than MILF Mansion.
Yeah. Dr. Emmett Brown disappeared one day and was never seen again. News 11.
Except in this mysterious car and train collision on a railroad track, leaving only debris of a car behind. The pieces were too small to figure out what kind of car it was.
Look at this mysterious photograph from the 1800s. It looks exactly like him, but that's impossible.
Go ahead, link that up in the humor group. Yeah.
Yes.
Not that I did all of your moms.
Yeah. They just needed a octagon in the middle of the mansion so that the guys could just pummel the crap out of each other. Make that part of the competition.
Oh no. I'm not disagreeing with the octagon. I'm disagreeing with the pummeling. Give them good swords. And no accountability. Survival gets the entire harem.
Yeah, but then you're also fighting for your own mother. That would be like, I don't know about this.
Hey, you get rich, you can set your mom up with her own harem.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the male version of a harem?
Don't know. Never been lucky enough.
In India, they have a word for it. Actually, they probably had a word for it in Rome and ancient Greece as well.
Probably.
They didn't have a word for it in Egypt except survivor or uncle. Uncle Daddy. Hey, marriage customs are weird in Egypt.
Marriage customs are weird everywhere.
I don't know. I don't think I'd want to marry my sister in order to keep control of the country.
Here, your brother died in war. Marry your sister-in-law and give her children.
Okay, sister-in-law is a step removed. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Carl. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do recognize the word now. And actually, it probably translates into waiting room. Some of those guys from the Bible that had hundreds of concubines and wives, and you got to wonder, realistically speaking, did they even get to meet 90% of them? Or did they just spend all their time with their favorite 4 or 5, and the rest were there for part of a treaty with some other country?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, good grief. We're definitely getting down to the wire on this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
However, this may be our highest rated show in a long time. Really cannot tell. These things work out in lots and lots of different ways. Too bad Dawn's not here. Hey, I didn't mean to click that again. All right, we've got 6 minutes left. thesis, what's your date and topic of your next show?
That will be October 5th, and I'll be talking about different birthday traditions in Asian countries.
That sounds fascinating, really. I have never even thought about that before. I don't know
Most people will.
why, but I've never even thought about that before. Naming conventions, which you've already done, thank you.
Yep.
I did wonder about that quite a bit. Joe, go ahead and pimp NDCD and everything you're doing and everything Trey's doing.
ndcd.org. You can find everybody who's on this show and most of the commenters on there. My next show will be Monday night for Behind the Code. And then Wednesday night, I'll be doing The Burning is Yarn with Trey. And as for what she'll be doing that night, I have no idea because she's just finished up her sweater shawl thing.
Okay. I think our friend Willow has got another Geeky Discoveries tomorrow night. I'm not
Tomorrow
sure.
night, yeah.
Okay.
So.
And wishing her all the best. I think she's going to swap networks. She has already been doing her show independently as well as piggybacking off of the network she was originally on. I think she's not really they're wheels within wheels. There is not my place to say one way or other. And wish her the best. Hope that everybody will tune in because it's usually a very, very interesting show. Willow comes up with some fascinating topics and does her research and talks about things in depth as best she can discern from her research. Let's see. As for me, Last Man Standing, Thursday night and Saturday nights. Stupid O'Clock may be absent until after Halloween weekend because Joe Dog is getting in high gear to get all of that ready, and there's still a lot to do. So when Stupid O'Clock comes back, it'll come back full speed. We may be shifting away from StreamYard unless StreamYard sobers up sometime soon, which is doubtful. So,
they did email me back today saying that they changed mine back, which they did.
Whether it lasts more than a month, yeah.
I want to see, how long is it going to take for them to, screw me over.
Congratulations, Carl. You're still awake. That's one reason why I wasn't unhappy about scheduling the show to start at 10 p.m. instead of 1 a.m. I don't mind doing that because I am a night owl, but I figure if there's not a Stupid O'Clock, why should I not use that time slot? All our friends are used to a show there. We can do this without all kinds of repercussions. And no, that is not a comfortable couch in Death's Castle. On that note, here come the bedtime story. Let's go, good guys. Whoop, wrong
Go
button.
good, guys.
And good night, everybody. We'll see
Good
you
night.
as soon as we're able.
Good night, folks.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. 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 System will shut down.